With Billie Lourd being in Force Awakens, she's more prominent in this film, and I kind of regret. I think the first time I met Billie, she was maybe 6 or 7, so I missed that whole. I never met Brian Lord until Force Awakens. That was a period where we weren't in contact. I knew her in the Paul Simon years, but I feel badly that I wasn't there for my niece. And, she's wonderful in her own right. I've been making this terrible joke about, they said, she's so much like Carrie. Yeah, she's late all the time. I want to apologize to Billie. That's just a cheap joke. And she's very professional. She's an American Horror Story, and she was wonderful on Scream Queens. Say that 3 times in a row fast. But there's so much of Carrie in her. And so much of Debbie Reynolds in her, which, that's fire and ice right there. When back in the day, I hung with Carrie in Debbie's apartment in Manhattan when she was doing theater, and I was also at her Malibu place. Carrie and I were inseparable after the movie for a period of time, but to see Debbie and Carrie together, because Debbie was optimistic and bright and bouncy and fixing my collar and saying, don't cross your legs that way, do this. And Carrie was shuffling around going, Mom, and down, dark. It was, who's the mother in this situation? So I thought of, Billie as a real sort of anchor in Carrie's life. Well, since it's such an episodic story, you're cutting back and forth, and I think Ryan's really captured a real diversity of emotions, of colors, and mine's a little more somber and dark, but there's great adventure and suspense and comedy, which I think is so important. People forget these movies were made for children. Now, I'm talking about the George Lucas Star Wars. This is a whole new generation, so I have to understand that they're not going to approach it quite the way George did. But I think it'd be wise to remember that they were made for children and adolescents. We just happen to hit the sweet spot where it appeals to the child in all audiences, well, for the most part. I always stipulate, look, not everybody loves Star Wars. Not everybody loves Cantaloupe. That's what, vive la différence. But if you do like Cantaloupe, we've got the best Cantaloupe around. And the fans the UPFs, the ultra-passionate fans, are so loyal, They knew when I was doing a play off Broadway. They knew if I was doing this character in animation, which is a very anonymous side of show business. I'm so happy and so grateful that they were with me all the time. They're all, they're as supportive as can be. They're more like family than fans. So with social media, I'm able to at least interact with them, and they can sense that I'm not slumming. I'm a true nerd.